Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, Joyful Jessie. If you are new here, I am Jessie. In today's video, I am so excited to be sharing with you all my very simple recipe for making a coconut custard dessert, un flan de coco, using only 3 very basic ingredients. To make sure to stick around and watch. This dessert is so easy and simple to make. If you've never tried making it before, I urge you to make this recipe. It cannot get easier than this. I guarantee that you're absolutely going to love it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, friends, the only ingredients that we are going to be using today to make this coconut flan are going to be 5 eggs. These are large eggs. 1 can of the coconut milk. I like to use the Goya one. A can of condensed sweetened milk, and 1 cup of sugar. And the cup of sugar is simply just going to be for the caramel. So our flan is honestly just going to consist of these 3 ingredients. You are also going to be needing a dish to be placing your flan in. In this particular case, I'm simply going to be using this bread loaf pan, but you are welcome to use any disposable one, aluminum foil. It could be one of those square ones, it could be a round one. Different people use different things. And then I am also going to be using this other bigger baking dish, and this is going to be for our baño de Maria. I'm simply going to be filling up with water so that it can do its thing in the oven. So let's get started. First, begin by preheating your oven at 350 degrees. All right, so first I'm going to begin with a bowl, a whisk, and I'm going to start by whisking or beating all 5 of my eggs in a bowl. I like to start with this process first because it just makes it super simple to incorporate all the eggs evenly throughout my flan. Once my eggs are nicely beaten, I like to add the sweetened condensed milk next. And I like to use every bit of the condensed milk. So if you notice that you have some that, has gone down, use a spoon and simply scoop it out. So now that our eggs and our condensed milk is evenly incorporated, I'm going to be adding the coconut milk. Now, I know that some people like to add coconut shavings into their coconut flan. I personally don't like the texture it gets. I want my flan to feel like a nice, smooth custard, which is the reason why I'm only adding coconut milk to it. Now, I've never tested it out with the dulce de coco, like that creamy, sugary coconut thing, but it is something good to keep in mind. Now, the reason why I was shaking this is because sometimes the coconut fat gets stuck on the outside, so by shaking it, you get to break it up and just incorporate it into everything like this, okay? So now we're simply going to go ahead and add it in there. The traditional flan typically has the evaporated milk and the vanilla extract. All I did here is simply swap out the evaporated milk for the coconut milk instead, and I'm not going to use the vanilla extract. You could if you want to, but I'm not going to. It's not going to affect it negatively or anything like that. Now, if coconut milk is not coconutty enough for you, I'm sure you can add maybe a little bit of coconut extract or add some of that super sweet dulce de coco that also comes in a can. And I use that for when I'm making arroz con dulce. If you're wondering how to make arroz con dulce, I have this super easy, super simple recipe in my channel on how to make arroz con dulce in the Instant Pot. It is seriously revolutionary. You will love how quickly and simple it is, and how you don't have to be there paying close attention to the rice so it doesn't burn on the bottom. I mean, you just put it in there and it does the work for you. All right. Now that this is done here, I'm going to head over to the stove to make our caramel with our 1 cup of sugar. This is probably the hardest part out of the whole thing, and it's probably the thing that people struggle with the most. I do my caramel at a medium. Now, if it's your first time, you might want to start it off with a medium low and simply just like use a metal spoon to just break apart any of the little sugar that you have in there and just keep moving it. Sugar burns very, very quickly. So you do not want to be doing this at a high heat. That's why I recommend the highest heat to use to be a medium. Don't go higher than that or your sugar will burn. So simply just keep moving it. You're gonna see that the sugar will start melting little by little. And once you reach a nice caramel color, you can go ahead and turn the fire off. All right, so once you reach a nice caramel color and all your little pieces are all broken up, it's going to be time for us to transfer this to the dish that we are going to be cooking this in. Now, this sugar is going to be hardening in the bottom, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of time to harden in the bottom before I put my flan in it. Something I feel like I should mention is that you should always have an oven mitt when you're working with the hot sugar, because the container that you are going to be putting it in usually does get hot. Like, this is not bad, but if you are using one of those disposable aluminum foil containers, the sugar does make it hot. So before you handle it, use an oven mitt or just give it time to do its cooling. Once our entire bottom is covered with the sugar and it hardened, I'm going to go ahead and add the flan into the container. Always a perfect fit. I always love using my bread mold because it just fits perfectly every single time. Now, we're gonna put that to the side. And I am going to fill my container that I'm going to be doing the baño de Maria in. Is a little water bath. I'm gonna fill it to about maybe half of it. Yeah, maybe up here. And then I'll take this and I'll put it in the oven first. Now, using your oven mitt, you're going to place the container that has the water in the oven, and then after that, place the container that has the flan inside that container, and you are going to cook it at 350 degrees for 55 minutes. Once your flan is done cooking, very carefully remove it from the oven, and I like to place mine straight on top of the stove to let it cool off. So our flan was in the oven for exactly 55 minutes. I've removed it, I placed it on top of the stove, and I'm just gonna let it cool for about 10 minutes, just so this is not so hot. 10 to 20 minutes, you know. Once it becomes like okay to touch, I'll remove it and then I'll put it in the refrigerator, and we are going to let that chill in the refrigerator for at least 5 hours. We want that to set and be nice and cool for when it's time for us to eat it. All right, friends, so our flan has been refrigerating, and now, like I typically do, I'm gonna use a butter knife and simply cut around the edges just to let everything get kind of loose in there. Oops. Look at the sugar already coming out. Now, if you ever have a hard time flipping this thing, something that I learned from my sister is to dip this in a little bit of hot water and the bottom will get a little loosened up. But here you can kind of see it's nice and loose. The juice is already coming. So we're gonna go ahead and on a plate, you would think I would have a square plate by now since I always do my flan in here, but I don't. So I'm simply going to go ahead and flip it here. All right, so this is pretty simple here. I'm simply going to put the plate right on top of it like this and flip, just like that. It's that simple. See how quickly that did that? And then the liquid from the caramel, not liquid, the caramel from here we'll go ahead and flip along with it. Look how delicious this looks. It looks amazing. All right, now it's time to go ahead and slice it up. Oh, it's nice consistency too, thick and perfect. Look at that. You can either put it this way or the other way. I think I'll put it this way. Oh, yum. Here we go. Let me give it a try. Oh, it looks so good. Look at that. Now that you've seen how simple and easy it was to make this flan, it's your turn to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!